Emergency podcast needed. Finally, we've been waiting for this all week. We thought we'd be doing this on Monday night, but for different reasons. And here we go. The Bears have traded for Keenan Allen.
Let's go.
DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. Have the Bears ever had two wide receivers like this in the history of the franchise?
No.
Well, it's Alshon and Brandon versus Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. Hi. Yeah. That's what it is.
That's got to be it. Welcome
Johnny
in.
Morrison, whoever was there.
Nick's got the Miller Lite flowing. We got the whole crew together. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Nicholas Moreano, Greg Braggs Jr., and we got Stephen Nicholas producing this emergency podcast. By the way, also, we should shout out our Bulls guys because they're doing their regularly scheduled post-game show that I believe is just about to start because the Bulls game ended. So you're allowed to watch them too. We don't want to poach everything going on here, but the Bears did just make a massive trade, and you might be listening to this as a podcast later too, which is great. But here I was, guys, sitting down. I was about to put on Full Swing, get my episode in tonight. It's a great show. You should definitely check it out. I poured myself this old fashioned. Thank God this is the first one. And just as I'm sitting down, ding, 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 Jay Glazer comes in with the scoopage. 4th round pick. This is the early of the 2 4th round picks that the Bears have. So it's their 4th round pick. I believe that's 110. They also have the Eagles 122 pick, which maybe us included at least slightly last year during our draft show. Oh, they only got a 4th round pick, a future 4th round pick for moving back one spot in the NFL draft. Well, that seems pretty good now. They still have a 4th rounder after trading one for Keenan Allen. Guys, let's go around the horn. Initial thoughts, Mark Carman.
So my initial thoughts were over and over and over again on the show. Where are we? Where, when, and who is going to be a wide receiver the Bears go out and get? Because after DJ Moore, there was no one. And there was no way, of course, that Ryan Poles did not know that. So KG cooking. I'm the man, Ryan Poles. Watching the Chargers, I think he's been watching this for a while and knew that this was obviously a significant option, and I think he obviously loves the pairing with DJ. Dude works the middle of the field, hasn't he's not the most healthy guy in the history of the NFL, but he was healthy last year. So that is the most recent, and that is the most important, and this is a huge upgrade, and whoever is quarterbacking the Chicago Bears next year is smiling a little bit bigger, brighter, and more beautiful right now.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, to me, my instant reaction is, they're going for it. They're trying to win right now. I think they stuck their feet halfway in the water last year, trying to build a team that could compete, and they did to an extent, and obviously fell short. But now you give up a 2nd round pick for Montez Sweat. You give up a 4th round pick here for Keenan Allen. You give up another pick for Ryan Bates, to a lesser extent, depth on your offensive line. So you don't have many picks. I know a lot of people are going to speculate, does this signify that they're going to trade back with number 1 or even number 9 and, try to gain more draft equity? But it also, to me, bringing in veterans like this signifies that they're really going for it at this point. So I'm just excited to see this. Keenan Allen, he's a lot like Mike Evans to me. I would have been happy with either one of those acquisitions. Why? Because they're steady Eddie. These guys are dependable. They've done it year in and year out. Keenan Allen is a great route runner. When we talk about Rome Odunze, for me, the comp to Rome Odunze is Keenan Allen. I see a lot of that in his game. So I love this move. And if they want to double down in the draft at 9 and draft Rome Odunze, a young wide receiver that's going to have veterans ahead of him, and Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, sign me up. But it puts Ryan Poles in a position of power now where you've got a little bit of firepower in that wide receiver room to give yourself some options at 9.
Yeah, you guys look. I mean, if I know we're all excited about this. DJ Moore just tweeted the 3 emojis where it's like a smiley face, everything's grinning. So he's excited about it. But I just like the idea of having 2 veteran wide receivers for whoever's playing quarterback next season. You have DJ Moore, you have Keenan Allen, you have young guys in Tyler Scott and Velus Jones Jr. If the Bears want to double down at the position in the draft, they can do so. But Keenan Allen just provides reliability. And if he's able to stay healthy, stability at that wide receiver position, you can line up inside, you can line up outside. There's just so many great plays that, even I can remember from last season when the Bears played the Chargers, where Keenan Allen's route running was able to win a one-on-one matchup. And that's what he's going to bring to this Bears offense with Shane Waldron. And I think it's just up to the play caller to see how creative he can be utilizing, these 2 types of wide receivers in DJ Moore and Keenan Allen now. So it's a great acquisition. Like Mark was saying, like, when were the Bears going to finally do something at the position? They did something. Now, if Keenan Allen can stay healthy, I mean, that's a whole different ball game for what this could mean for the Bears offense in 2024. But look, Ryan Poles isn't afraid to trade away picks, as we've kind of seen in the past, just in the past couple of days. But getting a guy like Keenan Allen, that's a huge deal.
Yeah, guys, look, I mean, we're talking about a guy that even though he missed 4 games last year, 7 games in 2022, and that is, if we're going to play devil's advocate, this is a lot of money and a commitment, somewhat of a short-term commitment. We'll get into the contract here momentarily, but it is somebody that at going into age 32 season, you're starting to see some games get chipped off here. Okay. But by the way, he still had 150 targets last year. He caught 108 passes, 1,243 yards. I mean, 7 touchdowns. These are not numbers that we're used to in Chicago at the wide receiver position. Thankfully, DJ Moore showed up last year and had an outstanding year, but now there's 2 of them. Well, and if he stays remotely healthy, and at least avoids catastrophic type injury, this is a move that's gonna. The Bears wide receiver room looks completely different tonight.
And Swanky puts in the chat, 6-time Pro Bowler who had a 264 yard receiving game last year against Minnesota. So yes, of course he's older. You got to stay healthy. That's obviously the goal for every player in the league, whether you're old or young, to stay healthy. But he is productive. He is dependable when he's on the field. And he's a great addition to a room that could potentially have 2 young wide receivers if they do draft one at 1 or at 9. And then you add that with Tyler Scott to give some tutelage to the young bucks.
5 of his last seasons over 1,000 yards. Go ahead, Hoge.
Yeah, and just the quick note on the contract is it's $18.1 million for this season, plus a $5 million roster bonus that's going to hit on, according to Spotrac, March 17th. March 17th, Braggs, is
St. Patrick's Day.
There we go. We are learning. We are making progress on the show. This is great. I've never received $5 million on St. Patrick's Day, though. That must, that must be the pot of gold they talk about.
Yeah,
that sounds very nice.
We got about 4,500 people live watching here at about 10 o'clock at night Central Time. Please hit that like button. If you're new to the show, subscribe to this channel here at CHGO Sports. This is just a lot of fun. We always go live for breaking news like this. This is our goal. Our bedrock is to be here for you when news like this breaks. So these are always some of our most fun shows. So if you're new to the program, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, go to allchgo.com, become a diehard, come to our draft party in 42 days. A lot of action going down here at CHGO Bears.
So let's move it forward. And yes, do everything that Braggs just said. Hit that subscribe button so you will know in the future when breaking news happens. You might not exactly be as tuned in as miraculously all of us were tonight. Miraculously me, that I was actually sitting there. And
I'm shocked.
I mean, I was right on it.
I cannot believe you're not playing Mayak or Van Riemsdyk or whoever right now in tennis, but you're there.
No,
Hi, Poppy. How you doing?
Yeah, Poppy is
If
very
you're new here,
excited.
Carm has a dog named Poppy.
Poppy isn't playing this emergency pod shit. Poppy wants to play.
It's perfect time for Poppy. Poppy's extremely excited about Keenan Allen. It is it is fun to, and Bryce Van Dera, you will not tell Poppy to show up. I will find you. Poppy will find you too. We will be nice to Poppy. The question now is, outside of the draft, are the Bears looking to add even more? Are we going to go for a really rich wide receiver room, going from really poor to really rich? And there are some interesting names still out there. I do wonder, what the let's call him King Paul's master genius right now. What else he's got hanging around in his head right now as to which way he wants to go? Is it just the draft, or perhaps maybe a little more? There's still some sexiness left out there. Anyone?
And I think that's whether that's in free agency or the draft. I do not think that this takes wide receiver off the table.
Not at all.
If it's the right wide receiver, potentially falling to number 9. Or at least addressed with that 3rd round pick. However, this is another pick that they just lost. Let me try to do this off the top of my head now. They're down to 2 first rounders, a 3rd rounder, and 1 4th rounder. That's it. They got 4 picks right now in the draft.
Picks. 4.
So, the trade back out of 1, get a haul crowd. There's more ammo for you, I guess, to do that. I still don't think that's happening, but I think
but
it
also
does
trade
back 9. From 9. Yeah, trade back from 9. And
either one.
Yeah. And whether it's trade out of 1 or trade Justin Fields, there's still another draft pick coming in there somewhere. At least 1, if not more. But again, just to the money, we're talking $23.1 million just this year, though. Then he's an unrestricted free agent. So this is basically a 1-year rental, unless there's an unforeseen extension coming here, which I guess is possible, but probably unlikely for somebody about to, play his year 32 season, age 32 season, I should say. So I think wide receiver still on the table. In the meantime, it definitely helps your offense and whoever's playing quarterback.
I love the contract part of it. The Bears have the space right now. It doesn't impact you long term. You could re-sign him next year to a much more team-friendly deal if he produces and it fits in the locker room and the Bears have a great year. They'll certainly have the option to do that. So, yes, a significant chunk of change for this season, but it does. They let the primetime defensive guys go. You're not paying Christian Wilkins. You're not going to go get a premium safety. They needed a wide receiver really bad. Great. It's a great allocation of the dollars they had left.
But I could also absolutely see them restructuring this to a 3-year deal, 2 or 3 year deal.
That's an option too.
A 3-year deal, but it's like a 2-year option type of deal. I mean, you're giving up a 4th round pick for 1 year. That's a high equity, as we're learning here with the whole Justin Fields conversation and potential trade equity that teams are looking for. So I still could see this turning into some kind of an extension of some sort.
There's an interesting comment here. Sorry, Nick, that Mohawk the kid saying the Chargers now taking a wide receiver. That is in play. I think absolutely in play, and that's a good call right there. I still tend to believe that the Chargers are going to trade out of that. Jim Harbaugh the rumors are pretty damn strong that he wants to get a haul for that pick and rebuild the roster. But absolutely, that's a fair point that they could be more interested in taking a wide receiver now with this trade.
No doubt. I'm looking up some quick stats on Keenan Allen just from last season, you guys, and looking at an area where the Bears, outside of DJ Moore, did not have an impact on the football field was yards after the catch, and we know that's a big thing, especially in this West Coast type of offense. DJ Moore finished, looking at it, 8th in the league with 550 yards after the catch. Keenan Allen's not too far behind him at 16th with 395. So they're getting a guy, even though at his age, is still able to get those yards after the catch. I think that just opens up so many things that you can do offensively. We've been talking about that, I think, for years. Like, when are the Bears going to get somebody that can not only catch the ball, but make plays after the catch? DJ Moore showed that last season. Now you got another guy. Like, so I know people, I've been seeing in the chat, like the age, the injuries. There's upside with a guy like this. Even if it is maybe a 1-year rental, like we were just talking about it, he still can play the ball at a very high level. And that's just one area that I'm quickly finding on the fly of how he can impact the Bears offense.
Steven, let's attack a couple super chats here. I know we have a couple $100 ones that popped up on the screen, and those are top level super chats. We greatly appreciate you. So let's address them verbally as well. Logan Cox, $99.99. Ryan Poles has cooked. Ladies and gentlemen, I am So sorry to you Justin fans and Caleb hating MFers, but we're going to have a sexy offense. I love you, Hoge. I love you, Braggs. I love you, Carm. I love you, Nick. Bears, football. Virginia has to be excited. Now, boys.
Logan Cox float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, coming out swinging. Hey, at the end of the day, either quarterback would benefit from having two veterans like Keenan Allen or DJ Moore, and potentially adding, if you're trading back at 1 or 9, I have to assume at some point you're going to draft a wide receiver in a wide receiver heavy draft, potentially. Let's see what they do at the rest of free agency. Maybe try to fill that slot with another veteran guy, but that would surprise me. I think the rest of the way on free agency, I could see them going defensive line. But at the end of the day, I definitely could see, another wide receiver getting added to this room. And that's going to benefit this kind of stable of veterans with youth is going to help any quarterback that's for the Chicago Bears.
And the other $100 super chat, D2B Cody. Thank you very, very much for that $100. He says, let's fucking go. This is big time. What's this mean for the draft? We kind of already addressed that a little bit. I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit more here too. But, I think a couple things. It could open the door more for the Chargers to take a wide receiver. It may lessen the Bears' need to, let's say they have a wide receiver staring at them at 9 versus trading back. Maybe they're a little bit more willing to trade back. But again, Keenan Allen's age, the contract, we'll see if they restructure it. I don't think it necessarily, rules them out from taking a wide receiver, especially if somebody like Rome Odunze or Malik Neighbors was to fall all the way to number 9. So that'll be interesting.
Well, and it would signify how close Ryan Poles feels this roster actually is. If he doesn't trade back at 9, then, to answer the question that Herb Howard's asked multiple times to Ryan Poles, like, what percentage do you think you're at with the roster? If there's no trade back with 1 or 9, then he thinks percentage-wise he's very close.
Here's how NBC Sports is putting it out there. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reports the cap-strapped Chargers approached Allen about a pay cut from his scheduled $18.1 million salary, but the veteran wideout understandably declined. He also said at the time elsewhere that he did not expect to be going anywhere. And other people that were reporting around it, like Albert Breer, who's been on this fine show, he did not expect that Allen was going anywhere either. So this is a little bit of a surprise development here. And they continue writing here. It would seem that Allen knew there would be a trade market for his services. He now departs the only franchise he's ever known for, a Bears organization that appears poised to select USC's Caleb Williams number 1 overall. And continues on from there. And there's been a lot of speculation, as per always, about what the Bears are going to do and what this means, and what that some people think the Commanders trading their quarterback means that Washington must know who they're getting, so they're going to be moved. They know they're moving up to number 1, which seemed completely crazy. The bottom line is the Bears needed receiver help, period, and this is a premium guy who they get on a 1-year deal with money that they have. So however you want to try to make it make sense, the Bears needed a Keenan Allen type, and they got Keenan Allen.
And you know what, guys, real quickly, like, I remember Ryan Poles. I don't remember exactly the phrasing that he said back when we were in Indianapolis for the scouting combine, but he said something along the lines like, there are moves that we don't know are going to be made. What you were just describing, Mark, about the Chargers and Albert Breer not expecting this is one of those moves that nobody kind of saw, happening, but yet here we are. And Ryan Poles is able to, 1, capitalize, send the 4th round draft pick to the Los Angeles Chargers and get a wide receiver in return. So it's like he knew something was going to happen, but you just don't know exactly what it is. And it, ends up working out for the Bears' favor that they get a legitimate 1A, 1B type of receiver in Chicago next season.
My question is, who's wearing 13 on this team? Because, look, Tyler Scott.
Caleb Williams.
What was that, Greg?
I was sneezing. I apologize.
The one thing we can agree on is Tyler Scott's not wearing number 13 next season. We know that for a fact now. I don't even know, maybe
we're in college.
But there's going to have to be a negotiation here, maybe between the quarterback and the wide receiver.
Well, and it's important, by the way, that Tyler realizes the position he's in. And as his unofficial now advisor, I would tell him to hold out for a lot because he can get it.
Yeah. He wore number 21 in Cincinnati. That's not going to fly in the NFL.
Yeah. Or Tony Medlin can just be like, we're going to give 13 to Keenan Allen. Sorry. So I don't know how long he can actually hold out. He can maybe hold out a little, but then the problem becomes Caleb Williams gets drafted, and I don't know.
I think the most important thing that we have to hone in on is that everyone is literally asking me for a song. Not everybody, but the cool people of the world are.
Nobody is.
No, I've got multiple requests on Twitter and in the chat. We're living here in Keenan Allen town.
Stop singing. Look at the super chat.
NFC North down.
This man.
The Duke, $300 super chat. Jesus Krispies, we have 2 number 1 wide receivers. Shit, if it is Caleb, just to point this out, Mahomes was surrounded with studs coming into the league. He developed into a Hall of Famer in the bosom of that talent. Now he does it with relatively little because he developed. Poles 100% trying to replicate that.
Poles knows he was there.
Yeah, good points. Good points.
Let's not miss the fact that, you know what, Bears news happens. The Duke is there. You think the Duke's sleeping this one out? No, he's not. It's 10:02 and the Duke is ready to go, and he's dropping 300 and he's fired up, and that's why he's the Duke. MVP, Duke. Period. End of story. Keenan Allen town. He wants to sing it too. We'll hold off for a later time. Thank you. Keenan Allen town.
Well, and again,
I mean, off the cuff, that was pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Again, though, when you talk about DeAndre Swift and Gerald Everett coming into the fold, now Keenan Allen, you add that with DJ Moore, Cole Kmet. You're talking about guys that are dependable, guys that are consistent. Some of these guys are guys that are going to go over the middle and make a tough catch, have shown that consistency. So, again, if it's a young quarterback, any quarterback, but specifically with a young quarterback, to have guys that you can depend on, that are going to run their routes at the right depth, that are going to do their job on the football field, that are veterans that have been there and done that. That is when we constantly are harping on here in Chicago as fans that we've never developed a quarterback properly. You know, whether or not Keenan's here for more than 1 year, but for 1 year, they've got a nice room here. They've got a nice room of talent around them. They're putting a lot of depth to the offensive line. They've brought in all this offensive coaching staff to surround the quarterback to help elevate this offense and put this system in. They got to execute it. It ain't done yet. The work ain't done, but you put the pieces in place. Now you got to execute it.
Real quick, just one observation. Now that I'm kind of looking, you're naming all these players there, Greg. I'm thinking about the size too that the Bears have just added, just with these 2 additions, and Everett being 6'3" tight end. Then you have Keenan Allen 6'2". You have Cole Kmet who's 6'6". Like that was something on this Bears offense. They didn't really have size. That you couldn't box somebody out, someone in the red zone, throw it up to a big body outside of Cole Kmet. But the Bears just added some size, and that adds also another element, a different wrinkle for Shane Waldron to kind of capitalize, utilize, and just be creative with. So again, other things that are happening just with these few additions, but the size matters. Let's just put it that way.
Ooh, that's a good way to put it. Hey, Nick, I saw you. Can you do me a favor and hold that Miller Lite back up to the screen here? Because I just want everyone to know, no matter how you're celebrating St. Patrick's Day or this big time trade, no matter how you're celebrating it, it's a great excuse to gather with friends and crack open a cold one. Make these moments like this one tonight, this emergency podcast with your favorite football team going big time. Make it even better with Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people who love beer and good wide receivers. And, of course, this weekend is St. Patrick's Day. It's coming up, St. Patrick's Day officially on March 17th. For those that don't know that, apparently every single person at CHGO has learned that besides Carman and myself, although I'm not going to throw Nick in there. I'm going to assume Nick learned that, too, at Iowa or somewhere along the way. But if you ever just sip a nice Miller Lite and look around like Ryan Poles is probably doing right now, saying, you know what we did tonight was the right call. It was just the right call. I do that every time I drink Miller Lite. You got to do it that way. So celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Celebrate tonight, right now, this big move with Miller Lite. Go to MillerLite.com/CHGO to find delivery options near you. Again, that's MillerLite.com/CHGO. You can find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer, of course. Tastes like Miller time. Chicago, celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I have so many tabs open, but look what I just found. Look what I just found. It's Charlie the Bacon Guy.
Yeah, it's too bad. Well, we love Charlie, but it's technically Carm's supposed to be doing something else here. That's okay.
Oh, see, that's why I delayed. I'm like, that's why I delayed. I was like, let me just go here. But I mean, we could talk about. You do what you're gonna do there, Mark. Let's talk about Charlie the Bacon Guy real quick. He's based out of Woodridge, Illinois. Makes craft bacon and bacon jams in over 35 different flavors, naturally cured, preservative-free products. And, there aren't any ingredients that Charlie can't pronounce himself involved in the process, unlike most store-bought bacon. And look, it's vacuum sealed and freezes perfectly. Bacon that lasts in the package up to 60 days in the fridge, 1 week after the seal is broken, and 9 months in the freezer. Bacon jam lasts about 90 days in the fridge and up to 1 year in the freezer. But honestly, if you're keeping bacon in the freezer that long, you're clearly doing something wrong. The bacon jam goes perfectly, literally on anything. You put on scrambled eggs, toast with or without jelly, crackers, burgers, grilled cheese, charcuterie boards, cinnamon rolls, pizza, or Charlie's favorite, the spoon. What is your favorite? I mean, all those different flavors, you can't go wrong, to be completely honest. And the Bacon Vault, all the flavors he's made in the past, if it's not currently available, give Charlie about 2 weeks and he'll make it for you. Also, they have some merch. You got to go check it out. Beanies, hats, t-shirts, stickers, and coffee mugs. Look, some of the favorite flavors. You got the maple pepper, chorizo, so good. French toast, honey chipotle, Cajun, jardinere, raspberry chipotle, and the Maui Wowie. And, of course, the bacon jam flavors. The original, bourbon, mango habanero, cherry jalapeno. They got it all. But starting now, you can save 10% off your order at charliethebaconguy.com. When you use the code CHGO at checkout, you can pick it up, which is the most efficient way for you, or he can deliver it to you, meet you halfway, or even ship it. He makes the bacon so you can bring it home. And definitely go check him out on the website, charliethebaconguy.com, or his Instagram at charliethebaconguy. He's on Twitter too, CZ the Bacon Guy. So a bunch of different places you can check him out. Follow him on Instagram. You'll immediately start getting hungry after you give him that follow.
By the way, I'm going to give this shout out to Albert Breer, who put this together, and he's absolutely right, because if you track this backwards, although actually, technically this pick is their pick, right? It's not the one they got from the Eagles.
Doesn't matter. It gives them the flexibility to do it.
Yeah.
You can track it back that way.
Okay, we can still do this. But Albert Breer tweeted, the Bears return for the number 1 pick in the 2023 draft. Darnell Wright, Keenan Allen, Tyreek Stevenson, DJ Moore, the first overall pick in the 2024 draft, and a second-round pick in the 2025 draft.
You know what I call that?
Damn.
I call it, everybody's calling it the Hall. I'm calling it the Halice Hall. Right there, baby. The Halice Hall. We just dubbed it here at CHGO Bears.
You dubbed it, and I'm not taking any credit for that.
And you can dub it all that you want, but I actually, no disrespect to good old George and the Halice family, but this is a new era, and I don't think that old era doesn't operate the way that Ryan Poles is operating right now. I don't want to go too tall, but let's give the guy some props here. There were no rumors about Keenan Allen coming here. This dude's it's like stealth polls, man.
We talked about it as a possibility.
Sure, but you did not hear the Bears tied to Keenan Allen, and that's, you didn't hear the Bears tied to a lot of people, and all of a sudden just popping up. The dude's just he's just posing around back there, man. You don't exactly know what he's going to do. Even when he was out front that he was going to trade the 1 pick last year, he's still got a hell of a haul that we're talking about right now. And obviously the guy hasn't been perfect. Velus Jones, Tyler Scott, whoever you want to throw in there. Not saying that Tyler can't turn it around this year, but the guy at the top who's running the show right now, correct me if I'm wrong, Bears fans, he'll hit the chat or whatever. I don't think we've ever felt more confident in a GM running stuff than right now that you feel with Ryan Poles. I mean, am I misremembering a moment in time with Ryan Pace? Because I don't think I am.
No, I mean,
not that guy I yelled at today. He doesn't have faith in Ryan Poles.
Right.
Yes,
So-
Michael. Shout out Michael Snyder. We squashed our beef on Twitter earlier today, but that is the truth. Like, to their point, what they were trying to say is he's not necessarily. Everybody says Ryan Poles is trying to build through the draft. Well, he's shown here lately trading picks for players. He did it with Chase Claypool. He did it now with Montez Sweat. He's done it here multiple times here this offseason with Ryan Bates and now Keenan Allen. That's not exactly building through the draft. That's trading draft picks for veteran players. But then you also see what he did last year, trading the number 1 pick for the Hall, the Halice Hall, Haul. Thank you very much. And to me, let Ryan Poles cook. I put it out earlier when people were starting to doubt him, when Curtis Samuel went off the waiver wire to another team in the Buffalo Bills and people were starting to panic. And I said, hey, you can doubt this guy, but I'm still standing 10 toes down for Ryan Poles. He's put the Bears in this position. To Hoge's point earlier today, he got them out of cap hell. And for people that say the salary cap isn't real, look at the San Diego or the Los Angeles Chargers, I should say, who have a mass exodus of players because they have to get the cap right. So the cap is a thing if you do overspend. He got the cap right. He's set this team up for what's happening right now, where they're getting this influx of talent. They have the number 1 pick and the number 9 pick. They bring in Montez Sweat, a lot of different things happening. And it's exciting to see, as a Bears fan, a real vision and a consistent plan of attack in my eyes, and something that I get behind as a Bears fan.
All right.
It was funny, you guys, when I was at Halice Hall today, one of my first observations before actually walking into Halice Hall is that it smelled like Shoutouts. It's basically skirt steak. So that is what Ryan Poles was cooking up early in the morning for this late night podcast. Skirt steak out of Shoutouts.
I mean, it was probably our producer, Stephen Nicholas, who eats steak every morning for breakfast because he's
and he must have read.
I'm just going to cut in real quick.
He's
right now.
That's straight up T-bone. That ain't skirt steak.
I also cooked it to perfection. I don't know.
You're making me jealous because Poles must have been reading my Twitter. I'm sure he does every day, and I threatened to go on a hunger strike unless he made a move that excited me, and he did. So thank you, Ryan, because I haven't eaten all day and I'm starving. I'm gonna die. So I'll be able to eat dinner after this.
Can we just rewind a second?
Blatant lie right there. There's no way you could have that smile on that face if you hadn't eaten, just for the record. I don't care what moves.
I'm fasting.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
fasting.
Yeah, okay.
I just referenced how Steven eats steak, and he just happened to have a T-bone in his hand.
Nasty.
When has that ever happened in the history of the world?
That was some nasty danglement too. But Steven does look like
danglement. That was
All
unbelievable.
right, we'll watch it with danglement on the steak here. This thing is perfect. Cast iron is the way to go.
I'm impressed. I'm not only impressed at how it looked, at how it was cooked, at least how it looked over a stream here. But I'm also impressed that you just happen to have that ready to go, as I mentioned it. That was unbelievable.
It's 10 p.m. What else would I be doing?
Yeah, that's a great point. 10 p.m. steak. I'm not against it. All right. Look, we got 6,500 people watching, hopefully still after looking at that thing that Steven just held up on the screen. Let's make this, we want to make this more of your show too here. So we're going to get to a lot of super chats, get to all, I don't know if we're going to get to all of them, quite frankly, because this is one of those shows where there's a lot of them. So just setting that off the top, but we do want to get to a lot of them. But before we do that, now seems like a perfect time, Greg, for you to tell everyone about our draft party that we announced.
Bingo.
Today.
We're on the same page. I love it. This is teamwork right here. And we've got the draft party here coming up in 42 days at Joe's on Weed Street in Chicago, Illinois, presented by Circa Sports. Casa Azul's going to be there, dishing out the drinks, and we're going to be having a lot of fun on day 1 and day 2 of the draft. So we'll be there from 7 to 10 doing a live show, and then an after party on both nights. DJ Trey Tunes on Thursday night, and then we're gonna have Dalton and the Sheriffs after day 2, the second and third round. We'll be live for it all. Corey Wooten will be on hand for both nights, analyzing the draft with us. If you go to allchgo.com and go to the events tab, you can see all the different options for your tickets. It's $25 for general admission, but you can purchase tickets that'll get you all you can drink. And then for Friday, we have a special event attached to what we're doing. Gary Fensick, Super Bowl champion, one of the monsters of the Midway, one of the hitmen, the half side of the hitmen, him and Doug Plank. Gary Fensick will be on hand. Collector's Cave is bringing them in. We appreciate those guys, and you'll have a chance to have a meet and greet where you can take a picture and get an autograph from Gary Fensick, along with all the other festivities that go along with our draft party. So it's going to be a lot of fun both nights, 6 weeks away, 42 days. Tickets are already flying off the shelf. So please come on out to Joe's on Weed Street, April 25th and April 26th, presented by Circus Sports. Excited for all of you to be there.
That's going to be a great time. And just if you happen to be out at last year's party, like I said earlier today, this one, it's last year's party on steroids, bigger stage, bigger room, DJ playing afterwards, country music after night 2. It's going to be massive couple nights. We know the implications of what's all going to go down and how big of a weekend it's going to be for the Chicago Bears too. So don't miss it. Come check it out. And if you happen to be a CHGO diehard, you get 20% off all merch and all events. So now's a great time to sign up. If you've been on the fence, go to allchgo.com/diehard. We appreciate everybody that's going to be there and supports us as diehards. Let's get into some of these super chats too, as we got a lot of people watching this show. Jake, $9.99. Looking for Keenan highlights. Came across a show called Guilty as Charged. Those guys are miserable. Said he's a great practice player and that we are going to love him. Bear effing down. Oh, they're miserable that they lost him.
Mm-hmm.
I
Correct.
got it. I got it. Okay. Makes sense. D-Man Shy, $10. So what would you guys do with that number 9 pick now that we have Allen? I would draft Dallas Turner if he's not there. If not, I'd trade down and get either A.D. Mitchell or Jared Verse. Well, first of all, if it's still somehow Roma Dunze on the board, I'm still taking Roma Dunze. I want that on the record right now. My number 3 player overall on the board, if he falls to 9, I'm still taking him. I don't think he's going to be there. So under that scenario, I think that this makes it a lot easier to just trade back. I'd still think offensive tackle and edge are possibilities there, but you have so many possibilities that you can move back a few spots and still grab one of those guys.
Well, you're getting my hopes up, Hoge. I mean, you just said the other day that the run on wide receivers doesn't happen until around 9. Now you're saying you don't think he's going to be there.
Well, I think if there's one that falls, it's actually going to be Malik Nabers.
Okay, so hold on. Let's take a moment just to reset where we are in time. The Bears won 3 games 2 years ago. They won 7 games last year. The Keenan Allen move, yes, it does also, it feels like a win now move, but it also feels like a move to help whoever is the quarterback of the team develop as quickly as possible right now. So when it comes to who you're drafting at 9, to me, it's still who's the best player on the board, follow that philosophy. And by the way, if it makes a ton of sense to go back and get a lot of assets so you can get the best player on the board there. We are not one player away from winning the Super Bowl. I understand the excitement right now. It's the Bears certainly feel a whole lot more like a playoff team. But you got to also remember where you're at and where the Bears are at and what Poles is trying to build. And let's dream it even bigger. It's not a 1-year thing. We're trying to, build a consistent winner here. So to me, to answer that question a long-winded way, it's best player available and realize where we're at in this whole thing.
I'm thinking the same thing, Mark. And let's say that is an offensive tackle that ends up falling to 9. That would help, obviously, if they think that's an upgrade over Braxton Jones at the left side. But BPA, and then if you want to trade out of that pick, Keenan Allen gives you options that the Bears didn't have prior to this trade, and that's a nice spot for the Bears to be with that second first-round draft pick.
All right, $50 super chat from the Duke. Imagining this offense, 2 tight ends set. Defense wants to sit back and stop Moore and Allen. Swift will gash you for 9 to 12 yards per carry. Want to stack the box? DJ walking into the end zone on a deep shot, or Allen gets behind you on a crosser. Sploosh.
I like the sploosh.
Oh,
Sploosh.
Bears offense with options. It's so adorable. Thank you, Duke.
Sploosh.
And thank you, Mike Saint, who says I look adorable or just good. Thank you. I'll take it. Keep going. D-Man Shy $5. I'll keep going.
Stop saying
yes.
Well,
Excuse me?
Nothing. Go ahead.
D-Man Shy, $5. Thanks for coming on late to give us your reaction. Fellas, hit the like button for the CHGO crew. It is our pleasure. Thank you for being here. This is what we do. Hit that subscribe button. Got to be a ton of new people here. We'll keep on highlighting that. Subscribe button lets you know when we're going live because you may miss the news. You might not be on Twitter.
We told you earlier today, hit that notification button too, so you get that notification when streams like this do go live. All right, Louis. $10. Hoge, your rant this afternoon was great. The Bears are in a good position. Whoever is the quarterback, can we just enjoy whoever it is, Justin or Caleb? All position rooms looking okay. D-line needs a little help.
O-line.
Oh, they've signed a lot of O-linemen.
We got numbers. We do have numbers. They'll be able to
I may have heard of one of them, but they've signed a lot of them.
Yeah, we haven't. I mean, okay, since Jake Curran. He played for the Seattle Seahawks. That was the latest offensive lineman that got signed. And obviously, I'm blanking on Coleman
Dalton, according to Braggs.
Yeah, Dalton. We call him Dalton.
We call him
Dalton. Dalton. Yeah. His name's
I'm
Dalton.
blanking on. We have a lot of offensive linemen.
Coleman Shelton is his name.
His name is Dalton Shelton or Dalton Coleman. I'm kidding.
I don't know
if best center in the NFL. Coleman Shelton is going to snap that thing like it's never been snapped before. Don't look at the stats last year. Don't worry about that. Coleman Shelton, Bears.
Is he a guy with two last names, or is his names just reversed? Should it be Shelton Coleman?
Maybe that's why I was like struggling with it, because I'm like, this dude got, I don't know. Yeah, you can look at it either way, I think.
It's the Bates Shelton Coleman show. Damn it. Let's go. Bears.
Okay.
Yes.
SPR, 13 Canadian dollars. Here, just take my money. Bear down. Seriously, though, who gets to wear 13? Keenan or Caleb?
Keenan.
Someone else said in the chat, and I haven't seen this, so maybe I'm pulling a Braggs here, that Caleb wants to wear 0 or 1. I hadn't seen that, but maybe it's possible. 1 might be a little awkward. A quarterback wearing 0 would be kind of badass, though.
Yeah. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Taylor Hawk, $10 super chat. Can I just say Caleb, DJ, Allen, Adunze, Komet, Swift. Oh man, if Cole finds out I butchered his last name. Yeah. And Herbert. I mean, that's a lot of options, like we talked about earlier. Yeah, and I'm with Hoge. If Adunze is there at 9, I know everybody's going to talk about trading back and getting more picks, and that's the responsible thing to do. And if anybody knows anything about me, I'm not responsible. So I'm doubling down. We're taking Rome Adunze.
Chris Evans, $9.99. Keenan is about to be 32. I think Adunze is still possible, but I'm still all in for Chop Robinson too. Bear the F down, boys.
I like me some Chop Robinson. Just put some more notes in the Bears 100 board on Chop Robinson. So if you become a diehard, you get access to that Bears board. And yeah, Chop is good.
Where's Chop getting picked, Nick?
Ooh, he might be the third. Potentially a third or fourth edge rusher off the board. So depending on when the run happens.
I was working on some Chop earlier. 6'3", 250 junior coming out of Penn State right now, because I don't want to give anything away. We only have our top 20 on the Bears 100 that's out. I will be happy to tease this, though. We're working on getting to 50, okay? Next couple of weeks, I promise. It might be even earlier depending on how things go. I've been working hard on this. But sort of where Chop's been falling on other draft boards that I sort of use as an organizational tool before we move them around on ours, right around the 30 spot. So right now he's kind of more of a later first round pick. Now I still got to do more homework on him on if, we might move him up to someone who you might want to take at 9. Remember, Darnell Wright this time of last year was sort of in that same type of conversation, late first round, second round. And then all of a sudden that momentum built in, publicly, at least the Bears had him much higher, obviously from the start. And by the time we got to draft night, some of us predicted that would actually be the Bears pick. And then it was, and he had a pretty good rookie season. So that's, take it for what it is right now on March 14th, 3 days away from March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day.
Our GM Jake Flanagan providing us with some stats. Bears all-time receiving records. 492 receptions, 5,059 yards, and 50 touchdowns. And you see the graphic here on the screen as well. Keenan Allen's career stats, 904 receptions, 10,530 yards, and 59 touchdowns. So doubling up some of our all-time records in receptions and yards and topping in touchdowns as well. This guy is a seasoned vet.
Yeah, Keenan Allen has double the amount of receiving yards in his career than Johnny Morris had in his career, which is the Bears leader, which is great for Keenan Allen. And the Bears could really use somebody to break Johnny Morris's record. Keenan Allen's not going to be the guy to do that, by the way.
So last year it was like a viral statistic when the Bears traded for DJ Moore, that DJ Moore would come in already as the Bears' all-time leading receiver in yards. Keenan Allen is doing it in all three categories: receptions, yards, and touchdowns. So those are three different Bears records, and he would have all three of them. And now DJ Moore has been pushed down the Bears record book for records that we try to claim from other teams' production, because that's what it's like being a Chicago Bears fan and dealing with wide receivers in this town, which is also a reflection to the quarterback play that we've had in this town. So this is a big deal. It's you're talking about two wide receivers on this roster right now that would rank number 1 and number 2 in all-time receiving yards for the Chicago Bears. It's incredible.
Well, yeah, and if DJ in his Bears career does not go down as the all-time leading receiver, I will be shocked, because we're not getting rid of DJ. And he's going to be here, and he's going to smack it in 3.2 years, and he'll cruise by good old Johnny.
And but to Adam's point, that's why you got to keep some of this money on the books, because next year, when you only got 1 year left on DJ's deal, you're looking at what receivers are getting paid around the league. Big money for guys like Darnell Mooney and Curtis Samuel and everybody else, Gabe Davis. So DJ Moore is going to get paid big bucks next year.
All right. D-Man Shy, $20. My last one for the night. Trade Fields and the last 4th round pick in the draft to move up in the 2nd round and draft Zach Frazier, center from West Virginia, has a wrestling background and understands leverage. Another guy that's been doing some homework on. He's also sort of in that late 1st round, early 2nd round, maybe more likely territory, coming off an injury. Which has limited some of his pre-draft stuff. So that'll be, how the teams sort through that deal will be interesting. Drake Rick, $9.99. Any chance that Poles takes a tackle at number 9? People have been saying Fuaga because staff attended Oregon State, but can he slide to the left side? First of all, I am somebody who really likes Fuaga. This could still change, but currently he's our OT1 on our draft board. The Bears 100 board that we release in our top 20. I have something. The one thing I'm held up on with him is I don't know that he can play left tackle. I think if you draft Fuaga, you'd be moving Darnell Wright over to left tackle. I think that would be the move, and maybe that would be a reason why they don't end up picking him. But they were at the pro day, and I love his film. I think he's really good. So.
Seven subscribers away from 51K here on our CHGO Sports channel. This is what we do here, ladies and gentlemen. So everybody that hasn't subscribed here, that's watching this show right now, subscribe to the channel. Bulls are live right now, post game. Bears are live right now on breaking news. This is what we do. We got baseball all season long. Cubs and White Sox got you covered. Blackhawks. Nobody covers the Blackhawks better than CHGO Blackhawks. We got the sky. We got every sport in town. That's what we do here at CHGO Sports. So subpar golfers just subbed, and so should you.
I love the reluctance of a subpar, and he just still did it. Thank you, subpar. Keenan Allen's not giving me any singing lessons. Zachary Hilborn, $5. I know he's very talented, but I've been working at this game for a long time. I'm not looking for lessons, even from a guy as talented as Keenan Allen.
Oath breaker in the chat says, never sub, never donate. Well, you'll break the oath, but you won't sub to a channel. Okay.
Wow. Come on, man.
Come on, oath breaker.
Hey, we'll twist your arm, but we won't do anything more than that. If you don't want to do it, then fine.
I will.
Wow. So Keenan Allen actually plays the piano and sings.
I play the piano and sing.
No, you don't.
Oh man, a duet. A duet.
You'll take.
He was
that
on the
back.
Masked Singer too.
All right.
Wow, he is a man of many talents.
The computer keyboard does not count as the piano.
Think if he does a little rendition of Secret Benjamin with you.
7 years of piano lessons as a kid. Not the night to talk about it right now with Glenn Miller dropping $300, but I made it all the way to Fur Elise, buddy. Don't you bark up this piano playing tree. I know I got you.
Okay, let me turn that around on you. I had 7 years of tennis lesson when I was a kid. Would you say I can play tennis right now?
No, good point.
Okay,
Glenn Miller, $300. I bet top 5 defense and top 15 offense. Justin or Caleb, they are set up. Plus, we'll have a top 3 rushing offense. Poles is cooking. I'm saying at least 12 wins and the playoffs, by the way. Love the show. All right, hey, we are not here to dream at anything other than big tonight on March the 14th, as much as I tried to underline where the Bears are at in the rebuild. It does feel right now that, look, Kevin Warren has said it. The Bears are expecting a huge jump in year 3. They said it when they went out and, hey, we're keeping the Flus, expecting big jump year 3. Shoulda, coulda won 10 games last year. The Bears should be a playoff team at bare minimum next season. I will go that far without even feel like I'm going very far at all.
Well, thank you for that super chat, Glenn. That's outstanding.
You guys are amazing. Yeah,
you're the one who's cooking, Glenn.
Oh, that's adorable. You know who's also cooking, by the way? That would be CD1 price cleaners. I could actually use them right now. I've got some needs. CD1 price cleaners absolutely loves this trade, this acquisition, and they love you, their newest customers who are thinking, you know what, I should go to CD1 because I want to save over 30% on my dry cleaning bill by switching to CD1 price cleaners. Other cleaners charge a different price for every garment type. When you buy your Keenan Allen jersey, they are going to charge you the same price, the same one low price. CD1 price cleaners, they got your order ready the same or the next day. Other cleaners, 2-4 days. When do you want it ready? Okay, next Tuesday. No. That's not what goes on at CD1 price cleaners. By the way, they also send you a text. So you have to worry about, is my order ready? No. Because you get the text because you're a CD1 price cleaners brilliant customer. Dry cleaning, wash and fold laundry for you brags, blankets and comforters, tailoring alterations, leather cleaning, area rug cleaning. Visit chgo.cd1.com. And once there, you can pick up an in-store coupon or online pickup delivery coupon options. Great way to support the show. Great way to have your clothes looking great. CD1 price cleaners.
All right, and we got to tell you about Prize Picks, the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They are the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks.
Something went wrong.
You won't find any of those. 1,000%. That was Carm.
1,000%.
1,000%. I appreciate Nick muted himself just in case, even though it wasn't him.
It's on me, but Siri, be better. What the hell are you doing, Siri? I'm not doing anything. You gotta talk. It's not your time, Siri.
Stupid Siri.
I think he was referring to your singing. Didn't it say something must be wrong?
Like the funny thing is, Nick, Nick muted. Like, who could it be, Nick? Like, come on.
I was just muting. I don't know.
Just in case.
You never know.
9 times out of 10, Carm. Hey, football season may be over, but the action on the floor is heating up. Whether it's tournament season or the fight for playoff home court, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Get in on the excitement with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. Conference tournaments are here, which means the biggest moments in college basketball are getting closer. Be a part of the action on Prize Picks for both men and women's college basketball. You can win up to 100 times. 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into 1,000. $10 into 1,000 with NBA, NHL, and college basketball entries today on Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Go to prizepicks.com/CHGO. Again, that's prizepicks.com/CHGO. Use code CHGO. for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO. Use code CHGO. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. $5 super chat from Edward Coker. DC Bears fan here. Was hoping for Curtis Samuel to sign, pair up with DJ. But I'll take this. Welcome to Chicago, Keenan. Bear down. We should mention, it has been an interesting day for the wide receiver market. Curtis Samuel came off the board earlier. And right after the Bears traded for Keenan Allen, Hollywood Brown came off the market and went to the Chiefs. And I saw another wide receiver got signed too right after that. So seems like, while it might not have all been public, this idea of Keenan Allen being available, teams were potentially aware that it could happen. Keenan Allen declined a pay cut, reportedly. All of a sudden, he's on the market. Bears get him. Maybe they were trying to get Curtis Samuel. Then they pivot to Keenan Allen. Who knows? But it's just interesting to see some of these dominoes fall in the order that they have today.
Mike Williams, Michael Thomas, Odell, Tyler Boyd, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Anyone to get excited by any of those names?
Equinemius St. Brown.
EQ.
Got a good podcast.
Yeah, it's got that going for him.
Yeah. Just to kind of.
Why can't we take a flyer on Odell? 1 year flyer on Odell, $6 million. Let's go. He had a halfway decent year last year.
Well, I wouldn't rule anything like that off the table. I mean, we're talking about drafting a receiver, obviously, but you don't know how the draft is going to fall to you. So, I don't have any issue, again, like you say, a 1 year deal that's not going to, hurt you down the road. I don't see any reason why you can't, because then that just gives you more options as you head into the draft. So I'm not against it.
Amir Smith-Marsh said it's off the board. YouTube user. He's back to Carolina. So anyway, but that would be my number one pick because he's.
Did you see his press conference? He credited the interview he did with us at the Super Bowl for all of his inspiration to go back to Carolina.
I knew he would.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it.
This trade is official, by the way, pending a physical. With Ryan Poles saying in a statement, not saying much here, but is saying in a statement, we're extremely excited to add Keenan to our team. His body of work speaks for itself. We look forward to him elevating our offense. And just confirming, it is the Bears' 4th round pick, number 110 overall, that is going back to the Chargers in this trade. That's coming straight from the Bears. So they still have the Eagles pick they acquired last year by moving back one spot and passing on Jalen Carter and taking Darnell Wright. But that is the earlier of the 2 4th round picks the Bears did have that is going to Los Angeles.
I wonder how Jay Glazer had that report before the Bears reported it. Amazing how that works. Just to highlight just where we got with Keenan Allen. I don't know if you guys mentioned this too specifically, but I do want to shout out to my guy, Coach T, because he highlighted a stat about Keenan Allen last year, setting the franchise record with 108 receptions. So how far into his career? How many years has he played in the league? And last year, he sets the franchise record for 108 receptions and has the second highest yards of his career with 1,243. So it's not just how he's consistently productive, but those are two of the best stats he's put up in his whole career. So aging like fine wine.
He also only played 13 games and he was shut down at the end of the year. So the numbers would have been even greater had the Chargers actually been a playoff contender.
Also speaks to how good Justin Herbert is too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can sling the rock.
That's one guy tonight that's not happy. Justin Herbert is bummed.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm trying to find the Chargers are really good on their social media, but they put out a video detailing every single one of Keenan Allen's catches. It's like a 10-minute video. So I'm trying to, as I'm on here.
Oh, they did that recently, didn't they?
Yeah. And
I know what you're talking about.
It. And I watched all of it because it's just awesome to see his production over the years.
Maybe they deleted it when they trade. Maybe when they traded him, they deleted it.
Maybe. I'm going to see if I can find it and retweet it.
More from SPR here, $5 Canadian. How excited are you guys to watch DJ and Keenan versus JJ and Tyreek in training camp? Iron sharpens iron. Rags, you're Mr. Training Camp.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there's nothing better at training camp in my eyes than the one-on-ones, wide receivers versus corners. That's some people are watching the trenches. I watch the receivers versus the corners. It's a lot of fun.
And that will be fun in training camp. Yes, Carm.
No, I was just gonna say I can't wait for Keenan Allen to dominate training camp because
Well, I mean, hey, when we traded for Chase Claypool, I freaked out on our emergency podcast. I knew I was going full meatball tonight. Stuff like this is exciting for me as a Bears fan. I like good players. Now, again, it has to execute. It has to work itself out. I'll try not to get ahead of my skis, but I promise by training camp, I'll figure out how this team is going to win 12 games and have an avenue to the Super Bowl. It's just in my nature. I can't help myself.
You will apologize for even remotely comparing Chase Claypool in any way, shape, or form or reaction to Keenan Allen. Chase Claypool had one good season in the NFL. Keenan Allen's had one bad season in the NFL.
There is no denying the level of my dumbassery. You have no idea how high I can fly.
Hashtag dumbassery. I could tell by Nick's eyes he found the tweet.
Yeah, someone who's actually listening added me on the tweet. Bushido Browns Dojo. So just retweeted that. Have fun watching. What is this? Wait, no way. That's 2 hours worth of.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I said 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Sorry, 2 hours worth of Keenan Allen.
But
after the show,
Nick, what I would say right now is I do some. I don't know what you call it. Social media editing on the show here in front of everybody. Maybe one of those video tweets to our CHGO Bears account with that, crediting the Chargers would be a good move right now.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Just in case people want to see that, since we're talking about it, you can go to @CHGO_Bears. Just make sure you credit the Chargers in it, but do the old tweet video situation. And if people want to sit there for 2 hours and watch Keenan Allen highlights, I might actually do that before I go to bed. But maybe wait till the show's over. Speaking of which, we're an hour in. We still got a ton of people watching. We thank you very, very much. Again, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. Over 250 new subscribers during this show. Keep that going. I think we can do even more than that. I know we got so many new people jumping in here just because of the news, and we greatly are appreciative that you're here. So help us continue to grow this channel. And again, if you're new to us here at CHGO Bears, might be new to CHGO Sports, we have shows on every single Chicago sports team every single day, 5 days a week. So if you're a White Sox fan, we got that covered for you. If you're a Cubs fan, we got that covered for you. If you're a Blackhawks fan, we got it covered for you. The Bulls guys were actually going live simultaneously as we were because the Bulls game wrapped up. Carm, did they win?
They did not win, but they were competitive, and Arturis was happy about that.
Great.
But
if Arturis is happy, I'm not.
But Wisconsin won, so that means the showdown between Adam Hoge and Mark Carman tomorrow, Wisconsin versus Northwestern, potentially for the right to play my Purdue Boilermakers.
But the best thing about that is I can't lose.
Yeah, but I'm the only one that gets shit that's a conversation for another night. Go ahead.
All right. But since we are going strong here an hour in, I want to get to as many super chats as possible.
I'm going to read super chats till like 4 a.m. So if you guys want to call it,
I'm not doing it.
I'm sit here and hang out with the chat all night long. No, I'm kidding.
Well, actually, we had so many super chats at one point, it froze them, and we actually lost some of them. So some of them didn't make it on screen, which is the first time I've ever seen that happen. I could tell you that we've had 81 super chats, but they're not all in here anymore.
You guys have crashed. You guys have crashed the servers here at CHGO Sports here tonight.
We love it.
Well, as we learned in our amazing ping pong battle today between me and Carm, we could use new servers here at CHGO. We could use better servers. We could use servers that actually can get the ball over the net.
I lost to Hogue and I lost to Nick. I'm on a losing streak. I'll get it back. Look, speaking to the super chats though, and staying on track here because I'm the one that always keeps the show on track. There is a reason why I don't know what the number is right now, but there was a reason that 6,000 people jumped in tonight. There's a reason we've had all the super chats, and it is, this show is amazing, and I am incredibly entertaining. And Hogue knows more about football than anyone, and Braggs is the most unique individual. And Nick's the best reporter that's ever reported, and tremendous podcaster. But the point is that there is some real excitement building about where the Bears are going and how they are going about it, and I said a year ago, maybe longer than that, the franchise feels like they are in the best position that they have been in such a long period of time, as long as I can remember. And people wanted to push back. Well, what about, when they were sitting there at 12-4 early in the Nagy era? And yeah, they were knocking on the door. But they're sitting here right now with the number 1 overall pick, with the offseason they've had to this point, the number 9 pick, flexibility still to do a couple things this year, flexibility for the future, a GM that feels like he knows what he's doing. I didn't love, to be honest, if we're doing the whole dive that I'm doing in my head right now, I didn't love the fact that they stuck with the Flus, but maybe the Flus will just pay off in ways that a lot of people perhaps don't think that they'll do. But I think it's just a very exciting moment in Bears time, which is why you're seeing the excitement that you're seeing right now at 10:46 at night.
All right. I want to address Zizo because he had a couple supers in there and he's brand new to the show and is not I saw the supers come up and he was asking us basically where we stand on Justin versus Caleb. We're not going to go into a whole argument right here, but since you're new, we will let me summarize this as quickly as I can and we can move on.
Somebody asked because we haven't talked about this.
No, the chat's just bailing it out themselves, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Well,
Caleb Stanley, come going.
Yeah. No, here's the official show stance. I can summarize for it perfectly. Contrary to how people want to paint us on social media, we are all in belief that the Bears are in a great situation no matter what they do, that there is a path to success whether they keep Justin Fields or move on and draft Caleb Williams. We are also all in agreement, probably to a detriment. It would be great if one of us were on the other side, but we're not, and we're authentic, and we are. So people can say that we're all sitting here taking one stance for clicks and all that, when in reality it would actually be better if one of us were on the other side of this. But we are all in agreement that the better move is to draft Caleb Williams, despite the fact that we all think that there still could be a path to success with Justin Fields. So if you're new, you've missed it. A lot of people like to accuse us of quote unquote shitting on Justin Fields, attacking his character. These are all things that have popped up even on social media tonight. Actually, what I was looking at when this Keenan Allen news broke, none of that is accurate. No one can produce a single clip in this show's history of us ever doing that to Justin Fields. We have been critical of his play on the football field sometimes. We will continue to be critical of the quarterback of the Chicago Bears, no matter who that is, when it is called for on the football field. And we will also praise them when they do great things on the football field, which we have also done many, many times on Justin Fields. So was that a good summary, guys?
That was really good.
Yep. Yeah, and look, I don't know if you guys will admit to it, but I go back and forth in my head. I'm like, okay, fine, gave him trade down, no problem. I'm all good. Okay, no, you got to take Caleb. Like I go back and forth still because who the hell knows how this whole thing's gonna work out, but I will not fault Ryan Poles if he takes a big swing and drafts the quarterback overall, the number 1 quarterback overall when he has that pick. I think it's the logical thing to do. If he wants to be bold ass man Poles and trade down and double and triple down on Justin and go nuts, I will look at him sideways and be like, all right, man, I hope you get this right. Let's go. Do it that way.
There's no
bold ass man Poles.
That would be the bold. If for all the Justin people in there, if he passes on taking Caleb and trades out of it and stays with Justin, it's the boldest move. It would be off the charts. I mean, it would. So if he does it, okay, buddy, you're king cooking Poles. I'll be like this, but okay, I'll get on board. And now I'm going to get some water because I need it. You guys can do the rest of the show.
No, I mean, he nailed it. That's 100% the truth if he were to make that decision. But at the end of the day, I would be shocked personally if that's the decision that is made. I believe they are going to draft Caleb Williams, and that's exactly what I would do if I was in his spot. Luckily, I am not because I understand the high-octane pressure that's behind that decision, but they've really put an environment here to potentially, for the first time here in Chicago Bears history, properly develop a quarterback all the way dating back to, Jim Harbaugh, or I mean, not Jim Harbaugh, Jim McMahon, I should say, who sits over my shoulder. So you'd think I'd know which name to say. And, but they won a Super Bowl with Jim McMahon. Obviously, aided by a great defense and Walter Payton. But this would be the first time in the modern NFL era where the Bears could properly develop a quarterback with, offensive coaching staff around them that they brought in, Shane Waldron and Kerry Joseph. The list goes on. And now these weapons here on offense and an offensive line that's starting to get some depth. Whether you think they need more is your call, but I like the direction they're going. And I do think it's an environment indicative to developing a quarterback properly.
Yeah. I was just talking to my brother, actually, not shortly before this podcast started. I'm like, man, it's going to be fun watching Caleb Williams. I don't know how it's all going to end up playing out. There's a lot of circumstance, a lot of factors that play into the quarterback play, but it's going to be fun. And I think that's what gets left out of the conversation when people are debating and arguing about Caleb versus Justin, is that, this is a fun situation for the Bears to be in. They have the number 1 overall pick, and regardless of what they do, the Bears are in a good situation to be in, but it's going to be fun either way in 2024. So I'm really looking forward to it.
$50 super chat from Juan here. Juan Solorio Jr. What's up, Juan? Just got home and myself a tequila old fashioned. Man, I don't go tequila old fashioned. I might have to try that. I always go bourbon, but that sounds outstanding. Poles is the best. By the way, cheers, Juan. Shout out to you. I need a refill. Poles is the best GM in my lifetime. I'm 32, Juan says. Can't believe this is the 2024 Bears roster thus far. Hashtag bear down from, I don't know that city or that part of Los Angeles.
Pacoima, Los Angeles.
I know LA pretty good. I'm not familiar with that.
Mm-mm.
So I apologize. That's awesome. Is that what it is? Pacoima? That makes sense. Good job by you, Greg.
Don't lean into what Braggs just said. That's not the move for you right now.
Well, Juan, let us know if that was remotely close. I apologize.
The move for us, Carm, is to get through some of these super chats so we can all get to our families and our dinner that I haven't eaten. Edward Coker, $10 super chat. I'm starving, Nick. It's not funny. With Howell being traded to the Seahawks, is there a possibility that JF1 gets traded to the Commanders?
No, there is not a possibility.
No, they brought in
that would actually time out. That would be hilarious. Objectively hilarious if all this talk about what Washington was doing the whole time was to get Justin.
They're trading the number 2 pick for Justin.
And the Patriots.
No, they would take Justin and draft Caleb Williams or draft Marvin Harrison Jr.
This is what happens when we try to get through super chats and then nonsensical hypotheticals that'll never happen get into our brains.
I know it's not real. I just said it would be funny.
It would be funny. Well, then Carm gets going, and you know how it goes from there. Emiliano Brito, $9.99 super chat. Caleb about to walk into the best number 1 pick situation any QB has ever had. Wide receiver now less of a need probably means no Marvin Harrison Jr., no Rome Odunze, no Malik Neighbors. All will likely be gone now by 9 anyway. I expect to trade from 9 for an edge.
We haven't talked about that aspect of it. What does Caleb Williams think about this Keenan Allen trade right now?
There's no doubt that Poles called him up and asked him what he thought, and then he made the trade. That's what happened. By the way, Herb Lawrence in the chat saying that Bragg's got something right on that pronunciation. Congratulations, Gregory.
Nice. Good job, Greg. First time ever. Good job.
That's my 2-hitter. He's ready for the season, damn it. Back to back. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good conflation. Pope Kirk, $10 super chat. Poles found Chicago a city of bricks. That's right, baby. Brick by brick. Go to the CHGO locker and get yourself one. And it is turning into a city of marble. Emperor Poles.
Ooh, that's Emperor Poles.
I don't see. If you're predicting the future, I do see a Bears stadium on the lakefront and a statue of Ryan Poles. I think that's obviously the way this is going. Strong trend. Put your money on it. Let's go.
Chi-Town Bulls 23. Just have a normal response for one time. $9.99. This was fun news to find out 9 beers deep.
Oh, God.
Way to go, Chi-Town. Good work.
That would be fun. Nick's like, hell yeah. Let's go
I
to
need
9
8 more of
beers
these.
deep.
I need 8 more. I'll catch up.
All right, so Stephen Nicholas, in honor of Nicholas McQueen, $4.99 super chat. First super chat, well worth it. 2-star wide receivers. Stephen, if you wouldn't mind jumping in for a second. How many more super chats do we have?
78.
We have 78 more super chats that we haven't read. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've been here for an hour and 15 minutes. It's 11 o'clock at night. We can go through a couple more, but we apologize to anyone that, if we didn't get to your super chat. Obviously, I hope you understand. We all got to get back to our stuff with our family and get to bed. And Steven and I will probably be up till 3 a.m. producing the back end of this show for audio, for the people that are going to listen on audio, and clips that are going to go on social media. We're all really excited about this trade. So hopefully you can continue to tune in here at CHGO Bears next week, tomorrow, and everything else as we do daily shows, as Adam mentioned. But we'll get to a few more here before we wrap things up. Hopefully we've shown all of them on the screen as the show has gone along. But obviously we're not going to be able to get to 78 more super chats, or I will literally be here till 3 a.m. So D2B Cody, $20 super chat. What do we have left for cap space, Adam?
Yeah, so don't know the exact number off the top of my head right here once all the specifics come in, but we estimated somewhere around, I think they were still in the 40s before this trade was made. So I still think they're somewhere around having at least 20 million.
It was more than that, at least by my Twitter searches. They had about 56 million earlier.
But that doesn't factor in. That doesn't factor in all the new. Yeah, well, it doesn't factor in what you got to put aside for the draft, but also not all the contracts that have come through.
Okay, but so like the class should be about, call it 15 million roughly. But yeah, your math is right, Hoge. About 20 million left.
It's somewhere in there. The bottom line is they're fine, even after this. And I'm not sure if they're going to restructure this into maybe a 2-year deal, but they could. They definitely could, and maybe lower that cap hit too if they need to. Jake, 1999, saw this trade and had to come on to see your views on it. All I got to say is if we trade back and keep Fields, we're going to the Super Bowl this year. New Orleans, the stars are aligning. We have a different Jake at our operation at CHGO. That sounds exactly like something he would type in there. So that might be his burner account. Thank you very much, Jake. Antonio Havis, $9.99. I was putting my baby to sleep when this news came through and almost threw her in shock. Please don't do that. Let's go. Next year is going to be fun no matter who's the quarterback.
Please do not throw your baby. Like, just
great advice there, Greg. Great advice there.
Ball security, baby security. Keep high and tight.
There you go. Chris Picaro, $20. Hoge, I bet you're with this. Trade down from 9, take an edge, then get a second-round pick and draft Mitchell from Texas. AD Mitchell. I do like that. I would not hate on that at all, Chris. Jay Cortex, $10. Trade to 2, then to 6. Get best wide receiver at 6. Best defensive player at 9. Poll said he wants to build through the draft. Keep it rolling here. A few more. PS 999. How does anyone think this works in Fields' favor? This is the most obvious Caleb move. Look at Spotrac and cap hits in 2025. It is obvious. Fields is gone. The only thing I would say about that is right now, this trade tonight has no impact on the cap in 2025 whatsoever, unless it's restructured. 999 from Drake Rick. Any chance that Pulse takes a tackle at number 9? People have been saying, we read this one, didn't we? Yeah, we actually did this one earlier.
So, yeah.
Let me make like one point on the whole Caleb Justin thing with this trade.
We tried.
Just 1 point. If it was Justin, they would need Keenan Allen. If it was Caleb, they would need Keenan Allen. If it was Tyson Bagent, they would need Keenan Allen. If it was Gregory P. Allen Braggs, they would need Keenan Allen. I don't think you can read anything into it as far as who the quarterbacks. They need receivers, period, end of story.
Good point.
Greg.
Thank you.
Pluta, $20.
I was like, what?
Greg Pluta, Grobber would say you're a planet. Love the trade. Am worried Odunze will be off the board at 9 if we trade down. Any thoughts on getting Keon Coleman? Don't hate it.
Depends how far you go down, but
yeah,
enticing.
Stosh, $9.99. Bears have to build Lovie Smith the statue. He jump-started our rebuild with 1 win. Bear down. It's true.
Mini set.
True.
Don't we have the little figure of Lovey somewhere
We
in the office?
we did. I think it's still in our studio. We actually do. I mean, it's not really a statue, but we call it our statue of Lovey, and it's about that big. And it's still effective. That's what she said. Jeffrey Stebble, $10 with only 4 picks left in the draft. Probability of trading number 1 seems more likely now. I see the Bears holding at number 9 to pick an edge. If Carman or Braggs were listening, they would have laughed at that, but they weren't listening.
I am listening, and I was shaking my head no, and it's got nothing to do with anything. Period.
He has 999 over under Jordan Poole, 15 interceptions. By the way, look up at the Las Vegas odds.
I wonder what I actually would like to see where the Bears over under is right now.
We don't.
Yeah, that would be
have the
interesting.
schedule, but I would imagine the Bears are still behind the Packers and Lions though when it comes to NFC North odds, even with all this.
Last year was 7.5, by the way, going into the season. Just from memory, I'll bet it's 9.5. That's my guess when it's scheduled. I don't know. Keep going. Thank you.
I bet you it ends up at 8.5. I think that's a little 9.5. That'd be crazy. Jake here, a lot of Jakes tonight. Jake Jarosh here, $10. Jarash, hope I'm saying that correctly. Josh, sorry, or Jake, if I said that wrong. Fields with all those weapons and the threat of him using his legs is dangerous. I think this is proof we're building around him. I do tend to agree with Carm. I don't know that this moves the needle either way. Zizo, our new guy here, $11.99. Since you guys all see Caleb going 1, what about Fields? There is, I think, no spot to be a starter open anymore. If there was, he would have been traded, wouldn't he? No way Fields stays bench and Caleb starts. We are I am not on the no way that happens train. I tend to think it's not gonna work all that well, but I'm not completely ruling it out. That's my thought on that. Sorry, Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think that's a scenario that the Bears would want to ideally have. And if I'm wrong, but Denver still doesn't have a starting quarterback. So I guess there is a spot, but yeah, they're very limited.
Possible, I guess. All right, we're gonna call it there. We appreciate everybody that has submitted super chats tonight. We apologize we did not get to all of them. Sometimes that happens on some of these big shows, but we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your contribution to the show, to this channel, to this company, regardless. And we thank you very much that you took some time tonight, very late on a Thursday night, to react to this trade. Yes, Carm.
No, I was just saying from my heart that we appreciate it. The support, it feels great, and thank you. And bear down, baby. Let's go.
Technically,
Let's go. What are you laughing at?
Because you just, anytime we got to wrap an interview or a show, you just always got to jump in and extend the show another 7.
I didn't do anything. I made a signal. Hogue read it wrong. And you have zero, even a toenail to stand on.
Toenail.
He doesn't have a single toenail to stand on. Okay, that's a new one.
Just say goodnight. I'm gonna go.
I'm trying to think of how to address tomorrow's show, because quite frankly, at 11:03 and now 11:04 o'clock,
we may or may not do a show tomorrow. Subscribe, keep the notifications on. There might be one. We probably won't do one, but we could do one. And if we don't do one, then we'll be here on Monday at noon. And if anything breaks over the weekend, we'll be there then. And if you want to get on Spaces and talk to Braggs all night, he'll be over there. And this is the first show, by the way, that I've ever done where I've had better lighting than Nicholas Moreano, who looks like he's in a closet. And it makes me feel good that I'm actually more well illuminated than Nick for the first time ever, who's got the best setup of all of us, but he's in the parts unknown. So go me. Thank you. Now you can say goodbye.
But yes.
Good night.
Oh, we're still here.
We all silly like the mayor.